Egypt. I don't mean Egypt. Obviously, I mean all North African countries. It's fine. Yeah, so after yesterday, I've got not really surprising, it's of the same chap, Burger Bob. Yeah, so we've got another Hondo. As soon as I walked in, it says, it's called a Fatboy. Whether it was actually just nicknamed that, I used to know something. There's a couple of things I'm going to check on this I've not even looked at yet. So it's another jazz boxy thing. What was it someone said? I had one yesterday, day before, and it was someone had said, that looks like I think it's a copy of an ES-175, the one that Steve Howe played. So I was like up here, yes. And then after I typed yes, I thought, yeah, he's a guitar player, and yes. But didn't start that way. Aye. So Hondo Fatboy, 2/3 the thickness of an acoustic. It's not quite a Gretsch White Falcon, but I would put it into whatever you call that category of This is you couldn't put a Bigsby in this because it's proper hollow, back and forwards. Yeah. So been at this one all day. It's like once I started, it was really manky, and I had to take the bits and clean it, and then it's like the tops kind of caved a bit, so I had to alter the pickup, and so it's now got both pickups working. Yeah. So I'll play some jazz. So the neck pickup was fine because the top sunk around. It's also got. I've never seen the construction of this before because I had the pickup out. It's like the wood on the back. I'm trying to think of how would I describe this. It's kind of like if you imagine the wood being that thick, but it's cut with a grid into the top of it. I've seen, I think it was a Chapman Guitars video when they were bending the veneer around, like, you know, the comfort contour on the Strat there, this bit here. So the veneer, obviously a really fancy veneer, but the veneer was only 2mm thick. So how do you get it to bend? Or not 2mm, a couple of millimeters thick, so you had to bend it that way. So what they did was they kind of cut channels in the back of the veneer, so at the bit where it's actually changing angle, instead of being 5mm thick, it goes down to 2mm thick, so it bends. So if you imagine if you've got something that's like this, and you cut a notch out it, but you leave the top bit, you can kind of bend it round. I think that's how this is constructed, but it's like a checkerboard pattern, kind of mental. I've never seen anything like one of these before. I've got too much. I've kicked my reverb pedal. It's changed. Come on, spring reverb. Reverb's a funny thing. I like it when you don't notice it's on, but when you turn it off, you go, "Oh, something's wrong." Should probably raise the action up a bit. I think the frets on this have been done. This used to be a lefty at some point because there's actually some screw holes left there, and there's a jack button, not a jack button, a strap button socket there. So I'd imagine that's not the original nut. It doesn't really have a nut because it's got a 0 fret, which is pretty cool. I think this is a funny scale length. I seem to remember this being, and I've just put. Oh no! Yeah. I mean, whoever it was that decided that let's make just like, I don't know, I think it's actually just a B&Q home make tape measure. What colour do we make it? Let's make it almost glow in the dark fluorescent. Well done, B&Q. That's a good idea that was. If that had been black I wouldn't have found it. It's only because it was that crazy colour. Oh no, it's only 25.5 inch scale. Bizarre. I was sure this was like a 26 or something. There you go. I wonder if maybe I was measuring it from the nut, or maybe I didn't measure it. Maybe I just read it, because if you read things on the internet, and then you can't remember whether it was you that discovered that or whether you just read it on the internet. And it's like, as you know, reading things on the internet's not a good idea. Well, it's a good idea to read them, but try and remember, and just grain of salt with everything. Like your Hondos all made in Japan. Although I think this one actually is. I think these are normally really expensive. (1981) International Music Car. And it's got that. That's it. In the last video I was talking about the Rising Sun Hondo, so it's like an H, but it's kind of like a with water reflected on it. So that's the 1981 that actually says it on in this 1981, which backs up my previous one. Okay, maybe give that a bit of a squish with the contact cleaner, which isn't in a glow in the dark can. No, it's neck pickup, obviously. I've got the action tool on. Oh, I know what I forgot to mention on the other Hondo, the volume controls were, although some people like say, hey John Carter, how's it going? Yep, the volume controls basically it's like when you're at 10, it's full on, and then by the time you get to 7, there's no sound at all. The way John Carter likes it with his using alpha pots. I wonder if this one's the same. That's me at like 9. And there's 10. So yeah, I like the longer one. If you use the beta pots for doing the volume controls. It doesn't really, to be honest, I don't really turn the volume up and down that often. For doing like Young Wee Malmsteen, the volume swells, definitely you want the A one so that basically you can bring it down. That's what comes in the Van Halen Bumblebee guitar. I was actually talking to someone about that currently online. That's what's in that, because Scott's one's had it in it. It was an A and he changed it to a B so you could actually use the volume control rather than it being pure fully on, just turn it down. Oh, you turn it down too much, you can't hear it now. It's one of them, and especially in the heat of battle. It's much harder to do because I've got to listen, because quite a lot of sound comes out of it because it's hollow. It's like I'm hearing a lot coming from the actual guitar. That was always my problem with acoustic. I remember my pal I don't know, he was probably 18 as well. Mo he was right into his acoustics, and instead of getting an electric guitar for Christmas the following year after he'd been playing acoustic for a year, he got like one of those bug things that it's like a wee piezo transducer thing that you actually stuck on with sort of blue tacky stuff onto the bridge of the acoustic, and then stuck it in a wee 10 watt amp. And it was one of the problems I always had with electroacoustic amps is the guitar's so blimmin' loud. In order for you to know what it sounds like through the amp, you have to have the amp up super loud, like far too loud for sitting in the house. So it's like the electroacoustic thing's never really done much for me. Good for recording, great for doing a gig or playing in the studio, but if you're playing in the house, it's like you don't need no amplifier for an acoustic. Or, it's just that because there's so much sound coming off the guitar, it's hard to hear the amp, so you almost kind of wanted to, here, can you take this guitar and go out, or here, take my radio mic, didn't have them back in those days, but take this lead, do you want to go and stand over there and I'll go and sit at the amp and hear what it sounds like through the amp. But even then again, that wasn't using a proper acoustic amp, it was just a wee 10 watt guitar amp. I don't think you got acoustic amps, or not widely known by folk like me. Pre-internet, remember, and not guitar magazines. It was like guitar magazines being like £4, something like that. I could probably get 4 records for that, and it's like, would you rather have a guitar magazine or a Black Sabbath album, a Deep Purple album, and something? You're like, well, I'll have the records. Yeah, I need to reach the action. There's some fret problems up high, which is why I've not been up high yet. But actually thinking about it, I think the frets have maybe been done because they're actually pretty good. But this guy was a lefty playing it upside down, so it's not really very easy to get to the high frets with a cutaway. So without a cutaway, you're not going to be up there very often, I don't think. No. Neck pickup. Take all the tone off so it's jazzier, and learn some chords. You're supposed to actually intentionally pick. They're not actually random notes in jazz chords. Whereas my way of playing a jazz chord is take your chord. That's an A, right? And then make it a jazz chord by just adding a note that you don't normally add. What about that one? There you go. That'll be something. And that one. Yeah. But I think it's just a point everyone gets to. I'm not old enough yet. I've not played long enough to get into jazz. I know some people get into it when they're younger and don't play music, which I've never understood. Kind of bizarre. I don't know, music's a funny thing, I think. I don't know, I think maybe just having a 1mm action on a jazz box with flat wound strings probably isn't really a good idea. Just a wee bit spanky. You can't bend these strings. Jesus. Gee, you totally can't bend that G at all. Where did I put the packet? I only just put the strings on it 5 minutes ago. I'm just trying to get the. There were Olympia strings, and the packet was black, so I don't know what I've actually done with it. I'm probably sitting on it. No, whatever they were. I think they were only like. I don't know what they went up to, but they were like 10s or something. But obviously they've got their flat wounds, and there's a wound G as well. Yeah, I was talking there, just go off on a random rant then. The problem with this type of guitar, when I say this type, I'm just talking about, they're obviously quite expensive to build compared to, you know, a Telecaster or a Strat. Telecaster, flat bit of wood, bandsaw, bolts, screws, dunk, bunk, bunk. There you go. Put the electrics in. You still got to put the electrics in on this, but you've got to go in through the sound hole. You've got a back and a front and sides and all that stuff. So just to build a guitar that's in this style, you're never going to get one that's any good at all cheap, I don't think. I've seen a few, was it PVs? PV Durham, was it a PV Manhattan or something like that? And I keep going, it's obviously, it's not there, it's like I think it's about the budgetiest one that's quite famous, but they're like 300 quid, and it's like, I don't know, but they're just because they're expensive to make, so that's why I don't have one. I just, you know, like a Gretsch White Falcon series or whatever you're going to call something like this. I wouldn't have said it was very metal, but see, I would much rather have this. I'm actually going to look at my Yamaha one, because I do like that one. I don't like a 335. I still don't really. It can't just be because Noel Gallagher played one, but there's something about a 335 I don't like. But see, when it's thick, I do like this. And I'd say 335, I mean, I'm not talking about one specific one. I've had, I don't know, half a dozen through my hands. Not all, I think 3 I maybe bought for myself at one point. Kept them for a couple of months and sold them, but you know, like an Aria one and a Gretsch and I played lots of Epiphone ones. It's just kind of like, there's something about the function. No, I don't mean the quality of the guitar, because these are all different companies. There's something about, I don't know. But there's also something I really like about these, and I'm kind of classing this the same as that wee one I was playing yesterday, the ES 175 copy, the Steve Howe one. even if you didn't. It's also got the Gretsch Master Volume Control. It actually sounds a wee bit like that resonator I had. Like it would actually be quite a loud guitar if it was if it had a hole instead of having pickups, kind of thing. But it plays like an electric. It doesn't. It's probably just the strings that make it do that. It doesn't have any of the problems of playing bar chords. Whenever I'm playing an acoustic, maybe I need to get back into playing acoustic a bit more. But I was always, you're always stuck down here because once you start playing bar chords, you just like your hands just get sore from playing bar chords all the time. And there's no distortion to hide mistakes. That's slightly scratchy, but it's getting slightly less scratchy every time I put it up and down. I just can't get at it with contact cleaner. I can't remember taking it out and, you know. If it gets really scratchy, just leave it up full bung and use the 2 normal volume controls. And it's got Grover tuners, and I'm pretty sure the Grover tuners are stock. I think it's just because I've got the action down so low. Also, there's no I can't compensate the saddles. It's a fixed thing, so the radii might not be quite matched. Okay, I'll put the fuzz pedal on. Just go for the rat. Just go straight for the fuzz. I'll just go straight for the fuzz. Hold it. See if we get some feedback on the go. Oh, I've got to go down there because it's not that speaker that's on. See, the thing is, I could kind of use that. See, if worst got to the worst, talking about, oh, you need to get rid of the feedback and all that stuff. Yeah, I can kind of play with that, and that's me with all 3 of my pedals on. I've got the Rat going into the Black Sabbath pedal, going into the Fuzz pedal, all of them on, and having the pickups 6 inches away from the speaker, and having the 3 speakers at a funny angle, so they're probably all pointing at the guitar. So, no feedback problems. That was just this point. It wasn't. Oh, remember. think that song's called Dusk in Her Embrace by Cradle of Filth. Yeah, oh yeah. Jesus, I can't even do it for one bar. Yeah, so I haven't learned to play jazz on it yet. Yeah. That's how you do it. Spray it on the leads before you put it in. Switch cleaner. All praise the switch cleaner. Yeah, I'll just get the action too low. Oh, it's Friday, so it's maybe live stream tomorrow, maybe do it Sunday night, I don't know. Who's doing what? Sorry, the reason I was playing there is because I was just thinking, oh, these are flat wound strings. What do I think of flat wound strings? And it's like, to be honest, I've not thought about it at all, apart from when I tried to bend that string. When I was more I noticed the fact that it was a harder to bend G string rather than being any difference really. I would notice. I don't think I would notice. I've got Black Sabbath bass playing fingers though, so my fingers are like, you know, I can just kill people with one finger. It's like the skin on it's like concrete, so I don't really have any feeling in the edge of my fingers. I suppose I'm kind of listening to the noise of that. I'm trying to hear that because I can hear that, but I can't actually feel anything. So basically, flat wounds don't make anything like the same. Oh, it might make difference to the tone if you're playing jazz, I suppose, but they don't make any difference to the feel on a guitar when you're playing a Gretsch White Falcony type thing and you're not used to it. It's not the thing you notice. Not as much as on a bass. When you put flat wounds on a bass, it's very different. They seem dead thin. I don't like them. It's like, I don't know. There would probably be. Honestly, if I bought a bass and it had a new set of flat wounds on it, I would put them on a bass I was selling and then put a set of normal strings on it, I think. Or maybe I would just play it for a month and then get used to it and think, oh, this is the best thing ever. Why did I never do this before? So, catch you later, Egypt, from me and the Fatboy, and possibly live stream tomorrow night, not really sure. Depends how I feel. If anyone's about, anyone gets something interesting to talk about, or something, if more people vote and things. I was going to do a comment, what was it again? I was going to put a poll out, asking, but just before I go, it's like, seen a flame maple neck? Can you... I put it up close, you can actually see it. The flames moving. If I get, it's probably not showing up. But isn't that absolutely ridiculous? And the thing I like best bit this one is like on there. Oh, it's still really amazing flame there. But when you're actually playing it, that's the bit you see. That's the best bit is. So I'm particularly happy about that. That always annoyed me. It happens every couple of times I've played the Aria Thor sound. It's got like a 3-piece laminate neck. Like, well done, Matsumoku. And it's like the top ones, it's like a wee bit of bird's eye, and the bit in the middle's quite plain, and the bit that's there is like total PRS type, you know, like that. And so he's happy. Look at it. There's no way. Why are you playing your guitar left-handed? So I can look at the fancy bit. Catch you later.